What is up, guys? Aladdin Palantir here to bring you guys that have watched season 3 of Game of Thrones and are ready to pick up from the books. Finally, I'm putting out you guys' first chapter review. This is going to be of the prologue. Now, you guys are going to frequently see this in my chapter reviews of book 3 and onwards. Things they forgot in the actual series, things they forgot to put into the adaptation, and there are very many of these. Now, why I like the books like 10 times more than the adaptation, granted I love the adaptation, but the books are just so much better because of the things that you do include in the books. I'm going to go over those too. Now, the first thing I'm going to make a point of is the fact that the prologues of Game of Thrones are absolutely amazing. Every single book has a very good prologue. And what you won't notice if you if you watch the series alone and you haven't read the books yet, in each prologue, someone quote unquote dies, right? Somebody bites the dust. I think this prologue is the only one where someone doesn't actually physically die, but a situation was presented where it's going to lead to deaths. And that's really good. I think they should have definitely included that in the actual series. But something they also didn't include in the series is a really good explanation of what happened in this scene. If you remember in the series, what happened here was Sam is confronted by White Walkers, and the whole army of White Walkers sort of just walks by him. It's never really explained. There was a coup already being planned. Granted, we did see the coup later on in the book, in the adaptation in season 3. We did see the coup take place, but that's not when it was supposed to take place. I'll explain as we go on. First of all, the basis of this prologue, the point of view, is of a guy named Chet. Chet is a member of the Night's Watch, obviously, and he is currently planning a coup to fuck everyone over, kill most of the people except for 12, I believe, and he is going to then decide what to do. He wants to go to Craster's, kill Craster, and then have all the wives for himself, and live there, live generally a good, peaceful life. Now, it starts off with him hunting. He's hunting for food for the Night's Watch. You know, all the time he's planning this mutiny with a few of his friends, Small Paul, Lark the Sisterman, which really aren't going to be major factors just yet. Just know that they are people who are planning the coup with him. He plans, of course, to kill the one he really has his eyes on to kill. The two people of note that he really wants to kill the most are Mormont, Commander Mormont, and Sam Tarly. Now, Sam Tarly, he has his own reasons, because when he used to be a steward for Maester Aemon, and as we all know, when Sam came and Jon suggested that Sam does it, since Sam knows how to read, Sam is highborn, so it made all more sense. So Chet was dismissed from his position, and Sam Tarly took his place. And obviously Chet didn't take very kindly to that, because that was a really easy, chill life compared to the lives of other people in the Night's Watch. So, of course, there's that. And then we have the fact that this raiding party was created. This raiding party of the Night's Watch of 300 men, led by Lord Commander Mormont, was made to find Benjen Stark and Waymar Royce. If you don't remember who Waymar Royce is, he was from the Book 1 Game of Thrones prologue. He's the highborn dude who did in fact die to White Walkers. And Benjen Stark, of course, was sent off on his range and never came back. So those are the two people this group of 300 men was made to find. And what they do end up finding while scouting, of course, Jon Snow and Qhorin Halfhand vanished somehow. They're just gone. But what they did find is the fact that 30,000, yes, 30,000 wildlings are approaching. Basically, all the wildlings have made a humongous host. That is where Jon Snow currently is. That's where he was taken by the wildlings. They're humongous hosts. Now, the part with Jon Snow and the wildlings in the books, granted, is literally 100 times better in the books. But I'm not going to get into that because that's not this chapter. But shit happens with Jon Snow, and people are introduced with Jon Snow and the wildlings that were not at all. Like, they deleted like 20 characters in the series, in the adaptation. So that's going to be a real treat for you guys. But getting on with this, 30,000 wildlings are approaching on foot. Of course, what's going to happen here is debated among these dudes in the Night's Watch. Some people are like, let's get the fuck out of here. We only have 300 men, and they have 30,000 men. We have to get the fuck out, which would be what I would say. Why the fuck would you fight 30,000 people with 300? That's just suicide. It's suicide. Some want to fight, of course. Some are saying, oh, they have women with them, they have children with them, they have cattle, they have a bunch of people who don't know how to fight, small boys, old men. Let's do it. Let's fuck them up. Our 300 versus their 30,000. Of course, that's not a good idea. But if, there's some people, the Night's Watch, who don't give a shit. They just want to do it. They're the shield that guards the realms of men. Meaning, they want to do whatever they can, whatever is physically in their power, to stop the flow of these wildlings. There will be more people at Castle Black. We don't care if we die. If we die protecting the realm, it's okay. But of course, not everyone shares these sentiments, so there's going to be some problems. But they're waiting where they are for Jon Snow and Qhorin Halfhand to come back. Because of course, they don't know what happened to Jon Snow. They don't know that Qhorin Halfhand was actually killed by Jon Snow. So this is going to be a really, really, really tough time. Jon Snow still doing big things, even when he's not with the main host of the Night's Watch. That's a really important point. Now we go into Chet's sort of backstory, which is really, really interesting to me. Of course, it's not going to be expanded upon, but Chet is actually a lot deeper of a character than he seems to be on the surface. He seems like a dick, someone who wants his way, who wants to kill his brothers in arms just so he can be free of the Night's Watch, but his character is a lot deeper than that. It's a weird backstory, granted, but it still is it's a funny backstory. So basically, there's a girl in the village that literally had sex with every kid in the village when he was growing up. She had sex with every kid. Her name was Bessa, a fucking slut, I guess. And this dude went to her. Let's start with his background. His father used to, catch leeches and sell them to like doctors because they used to put leeches on you. You'd think that would cure diseases back in the day. So that's what his father used to do. Really, just terrible job. He would like dive in the mud and leeches would stick on him, and he would take them off and sell them. So basically, this dude, low-born, son of a dude who fucking collects leeches, decides to go to this girl and ask her to have sex with him. He's a really ugly dude. He's said to have like boils all over his face. So what he does is he picks her flower. He found out her favorite type of flower. I don't remember what the hell it was, but he picked all these flowers for her, thinking it would please her, and he gave them to her and asked, you want to fuck, basically. And she's like, I would rather sleep with the leeches your father catches than fucking sleep with you. And then he killed her. Yes, that's when he took out his dagger and just murdered her on the spot. He was confronted. I forgot who confronted him. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, Walder Frey. Walder Frey. There we go. That's where he lived near the Twins. Near the Trident? I think it's near Trident. My bad. The Trident. And there we go. He was, in fact, sent to the wall for killing this young girl. And, that was his price to pay. Lost souls, people who've committed crimes in the past, people who want to just have a drastic change in their lives are sent to the wall rather than face death. So that's what happened to him. That's pretty much his backstory. So, he was, I don't think he was justified in killing the girl just because of that. But, I mean, for some reason, he thought that shit was justified. So he's obviously not a nice person, as we can tell from his backstory. But, it did probably hurt him emotionally on a very, very deep emotional level to find out the wrongdoings that were committed to him by this girl. I mean, they're not really wrongdoings. Fuck that. But, yeah, this girl rejecting him did have a really, profound effect on him. And it did cause him to kill her. I'm not saying that's good, but whatever, fuck. That's his backstory, but that's aside from the point. Mormont's bird, this small Paul dude's really just dumb in general. He asked, can I have Mormont's bird? I don't want to kill a bird. I want to kill Mormont. And, just weird shit like that. And another thing that's really emphasized in the books are the cold. It is the cold. The cold itself was said that if you touch your sword directly, it's so cold that your skin will fucking freeze off. It will basically, you'll lose a patch of skin. I mean, this is some profound ass cold, which is one of the reasons why everyone's so perturbed, everyone's so up in arms, and everyone's willing to revolt. because this cold is paralyzing. They want to get back to reasonable conditions, and they really don't like the Night's Watch life, because people in the Night's Watch live a really, really tough life in general. And, you know, he's of course, continuing to plan this coup, and then, you know, they're suspecting maybe people are onto them. Oh, maybe some of our guys betrayed our secret. And then that's when Commander Mormon calls them all to assemble. Some shit's going on. Another quick thing about the cold. Cold is really emphasized a lot, as I said before. It is also said, I found this line really interesting, that Commander Mormon spit, and his spit froze before it hit the ground. That's some fucking intense cold. Anyways, aside from that, Commander Mormon basically assembled the Night's Watch to tell them that they're going to fight the wildlings. They're not going to wait for the wildlings to approach them. They are going to ambush the wildlings and really draw this fight. They are going to fight instead of running away. And Chet's basically saying, what the fuck? Why would we fight this? And basically the sentiment is, or the resolve is, you know, we're going to die in this raid, in this assault of the wildlings, but we are going to let them know Night's Watch doesn't play around, and the realm is not something to be reckoned with, and they're hoping the wildlings will turn back afterwards. And then he's of course disappointed about this. He's really just perturbed, and he starts to cry because of the snow. Basically, what the snow does, it renders their plan useless. Their plan is absolutely useless now. They won't be able to find anything. The heavy snow is covering all their gear, all their supplies. It's going to be really, really awkward to see them all. You know, people are going to be able to uncover their plan if they all start digging stuff up in the snow. You know, their tracks are easy to find in the snow, so people will be able to track them down and you know, apprehend them for what they've done. So that's really, really bad for them, the fact that it started snowing. So this guy starts crying, thinking about his past, and then he's like, you know what, fuck it. We're not going to go through with the plan, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill Sam Tarly either way. I'm going to still kill Sam Tarly. And this is when the really, really interesting shit happens. He's about to kill Sam Tarly, and then he hears a battle horn. Now, if you're in the Night's Watch, there's a code. One horn blow means the return of your fellow Night's Watch members, which in this case would mean the return of Jon Snow and Qhorin Halfhand. That's one blow. And that blow wakes up Sam Tarly, so he can no longer kill him like that, because he's going to scream when he sees him approaching or whatever. So he can't kill Sam Tarly anymore. That's already terrible for him. But he's like, alright, whatever, fuck it. I don't even care. But then a second blow of the horn begins. And that means that wildlings are approaching. Like, they're there. The wildlings are an imminent threat. And the chapter closes with this. A third blow of the war horn, which means that White Walkers are approaching. And that's how it ends off. I think that's really, really a lot better than what we were exposed to in the adaptation. Personally, I really, really enjoyed that prologue, and the fact that we had a precursor of the White Walkers coming, you know, a story to keep up with, and it was sort of a plot twist. Because in Game of Thrones, the thing I really like is the vast majority of the chapters end with a plot twist. And these plot twists are not generic plot twists. These are real plot twist. You know, George Martin draws your attention away from what you should really be focusing on, or what is imminent, and then he all of a sudden just flips it completely on you with a badass plot twist, and that really, really hits home. And I really like, I love these books in general. But yeah, guys, stay tuned for the next chapter review. I'm gonna do chapter 1 of book 3, my bad, and then I'm gonna go to chapter 2 of book 1. So stay tuned for that, guys. Enjoy these Game of Thrones book rereads. Zaladin Palantir, as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you. Peace out.